G'day,
Hello.
Captain's Update. Well, here we are. We're actually in Cape Cod today at the Sandwich Marina on the Cape Cod Canal. And I was going to share with you where we were the last number of days. Since we landed at Port Washington, we had a real long day, went up to Rhode Island, which was roughly 17 hours, but we were trying to make miles and anchoring close to midnight, which is never fun. You're looking for spots and trying to avoid, crab pots and everything else. From Rhode Island, we left, which should have been a shorter day, onto Onset, which is just before the Cape Cod Canal. But what happened was we had weather on the nose, and we also had a current coming down. So we were only making like 2.5, 3 knots, and it added like 5 hours onto our day, so it wasn't a short day. And this morning we left Onset and basically traveled from Onset up through the Cape Cod Canal, which is roughly about 10 miles long. And the currents through the Cape Cod Canal are extreme. They're at 4.5 knots. So again, you need time entering the canal. Otherwise, it would be dangerous. There's cargo ships coming through, large boats. And so it's important to have the right currents going through and that you're flowing with them. So this afternoon, we actually had a good day. We took off. We weren't on the sea, which was nice. We went to a pirate museum. And, at first you say, geez, a pirate museum. But this is actual artifacts from a boat, the Winham, which they recovered off the coast of Cape Cod, at least a lot of the artifacts. And they've been doing this over a number of years. The museum actually was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was big.
It was big.
Yeah,
and
it was really big.
Oh my gosh, like well-preserved items. So basically, although the ship was down 30 feet, what happened was a lot of the stuff was actually down another 20 feet in the sand. So, it was regaling the stories about, Sam Blaney and other pirates. But, it was telling, what's the actual life of the pirates and, some of their adventures. And, it was even like there was the potbelly stove that they had. They were feeding numerous crews on board. And it just well-preserved stuff. So if you get a chance, check out the museum in Cape Cod.
And do the tour.
Don't
take
we
yourself
actually
through,
took the guided tour. So
yeah.
It was well over an hour. And I know I took a bunch of pictures, but it was definitely worth it. And over rum, there'll be lots of good stories to tell. So there's another one to say, Derek or Jennifer, what's the scoop on that place? Share. So
did it make you want to become a pirate full time?
Yeah. So actually, the next thing to chat about is huge. Ron and Darlene Clark are driving down right now. They'll be here in about an hour from Halifax.
Yeah.
And sharing what they're doing.
Yeah, big shout out to Ron and Darlene. We were trying to figure out, I didn't want to do the Bay of Fundy crossing. I would have done it with him, but I didn't want to do it with him. Ron volunteered to do the crossing with him, so I was trying to figure out how I was going to get home, and I couldn't figure out how to get the dog home with me. And we had a phone call, and they said, Darlene and I are coming down. We're driving down, and so Darlene and I are going to drive back with Tess, and we're actually going to stop in Freeport and celebrate Mother's Day together. We're going to shop and have dinner, and it'll be really, really nice. And Ron is going to do the trip across the Bay of Fundy with Derek. And Ron is a very seasoned sailor, and Darlene is a very seasoned shopper. So it's match made in heaven.
Yeah. So I'm going to share. So basically, again, it is huge because the crossover from Cape Cod here to Shelburne is 260 nautical miles. It's going to be roughly 40 hours crossing the Gulf of Maine in a 34-foot sailboat. So, weather and sea state are crucial.
Cold.
So what it means is that me and Ron will be doing shifts on board because obviously we can't anchor, we can't stop in the middle. It's once you leave here, you're heading to Shelburne. So it'll be 2-hour shifts on duty, and that goes throughout the night. And we'll obviously have our radar going, our AIS, and so yeah, that is what we're looking at now. And we've actually been chatting with Chris Parker, who runs a weather service, and Chris actually was giving us detailed information about the sea state, on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which is what we're looking at for a weather window, as well as, what we expect for winds, wind direction. So, we're not talking about rain and stuff like that, because that's not our concern.
And this is stuff that it would be very hard for us to figure out on our own. He's a meteorologist, and he's actually tracking everything, and his specialty is marine, which is just an awesome service. And
basically I've been chatting with Todd Thompson. He's another buddy of ours from Halifax, who's a very seasoned sailor, and bouncing those things off him. So it's again, it's a long trip, so we want to make sure that we're doing it in a safe way and smart. So if it means delaying your departure for a day or 5 days,
you do it.
That's a smart thing to do, as opposed to going out and then all of a sudden hitting 12-foot waves. And it's I don't want to talk about that anyway. So again, thank you.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Nadina, my friend Nadina, who is going to take Tess and I while we're waiting for Derek and Ron to come back, because we don't get our host back until July 1st. So I'm the homeless friend right now. So Nadina is taking Tessa Bear and I in, which I'm very thankful for. So thank you to that too.
So thanks for watching, and we both are really looking forward to being back in Halifax for family, friends, and a routine. So again, thank you, and we'll chat soon, and we'll share some videos and pictures. Trust me.
Thank you very much.
Today, this morning we left Port Jefferson at 6:30, and we are heading to either Fisher's Island, which is roughly about an 8-hour sail, or plan B is if we like to continue on, we might actually head up to Rhode Island, which is a bit further. So we're trying to make some miles to get to obviously Cape Cod, and then back to Nova Scotia. So motor sailing, winds are light, and the tide is against us right now, which is supposed to switch somewhere around this afternoon. Anyway, we'll give you an update. Well, good morning. Cold day, and it's supposed to be blowing 15 to 20 knots on the nose, which is great. Not a great day for chill out when we're trying to make some miles, but we got to do it. So yesterday was a long day. We left Port Jefferson very early in the morning and made our way to Rhode Island. And that was just about a 17-hour day, and anchored last night in the dark. So yeah, so today left Rhode Island and on to Onset. And Onset is just before the Cape Cod Canal. We're going to set up and ready to go through the Cape Cod Canal. Got to time the tides, because there's very strong currents there as well. And then that'll set us up for crossing from Cape Cod to hopefully Shelburne, Nova Scotia, which will be about a 265 nautical mile trip. So we'll give you some updates, and pretty soon we'll get some connection from the Elizabeth Islands. Chat soon. Good morning. Well, we left Onset today, and we are going through the Cape Cod Canal. So it is about a 10 nautical mile trip through, and you have to time it because the currents through here are wicked, over 4 knots. And yeah, so on a small sailboat, if you don't time that, it would be treacherous. And of course, this canal, you can find cargo ships going through, and it wouldn't look good. So today, like I said, we're going through Cape Cod Canal, which will set us up and get us ready for going across to Nova Scotia, hopefully Shelburne, which is a 240 nautical mile run, or about 48 hours across the Bay of Fundy. And we have lucky to use Chris Parker, who is a meteorologist for a weather roading service, which is fantastic. I highly recommend using him. And so he's going to help us with wave periods, wind directions, also recommending which days might work and which days might not. So we'll give you an update once we arrive.